This is Christopher Moldong of Chris's Storytelling Corner. Today I'm going to do a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 13 and 14. Next time I'll have a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 15 and 16, a reading of my fantasy short story The Witch's Origin, a movie review for Black Panther, and a journal for the Long Beach Comic Expo. Check out my Twitter page and author's Facebook page. Links to all these will be provided on the description. I'd also really like to hear from you guys as well, so leave any comments. If you guys want me to repost anything of your guys's or trade repost, feel free to tell me in the comment section. Make sure to subscribe and share this channel as well. So the way that this is going to work is that I'm going to recap volume 13 and 14 of Skip Beat. So first I'll give the recap of the volume and then give my thoughts on said volume. So let's get right to it with Skip Beat volume 13. So the volume begins with Ren telling Ogata that he'll make her, Miss Momose, act that way. Itsumi Momose, I'll just call her Miss Momose, says that she's not going to let someone like that do as he wishes. So, someone like that being Ren. So, Ren and Miss Momose play the scene as Katsuki and Mizuki, respectively. Ren acts one of the scenes differently. Mizuki cuts herself on the teacup, and it's said that the real test begins. Katsuki makes Mizuki scream weirdly when he tries to lick her fingers. Katsuki laughs it off and says, with a face showing his dark side, that he wouldn't lick her fingers because he doesn't even like Mizuki. Mizuki stays silent. She planned to stay silent, or Miss Momose planned to stay silent, but Ren made it where what he said made her unable to say anything. So yeah, she planned to stay silent, but Ren made a situation where silence was the best for the scene. So there's a heavy silence, but Katsuki says something and lightens the mood. Katsuki wants to treat Mizuki's cut, but that would lead to the eventual ending of the scene. However, it skips a scene where Katsuki and Mizuki flirt. So, like a scene is going to be skipped over. So Mizuki goes to the piano even though it's not in the script. And Katsuki gives Mizuki a heavenly smile that makes her embarrassed, and she hides her face behind the piano. Katsuki asks Mizuki to play something for him. The thing is, Miss Momose can only play Neko Funjata, and she feels that Ren is putting her on the spot. So Katsuki then tells her that they'll play something together. He goes to the piano and plays Neko Funjata, and he does it terribly. Katsuki motions to Mizuki to play Neko Funjata with him, and she does. They slowly get in sync with each other and play it well. Katsuki challenges Mizuki to catch up to him in the piece. He plays faster and she tries to catch up, and they both appear to be having fun. Ogata realizes that they're flirting with the music, so Mizuki playfully gets angry at Katsuki, and Katsuki steps on pieces of the teacup. Katsuki goes to clean it, and Mizuki unintentionally tells him to sit while she brings more tea, which leads to the end of the scene and a test. President Lori tells Ren that he passed. He also reveals that Ren provoked Mizuki on purpose. Kyoko is looking down at this time, and Ren asks her if she's not feeling well. Kyoko says that she's alright, but she then moves away from him. Ogata informs Ren that President Lori wants to talk to him, and Ren goes to where President Lori is. It's revealed that Kyoko secretly envied Miss Momose. She also doesn't want to act opposite of Ren. Yashiro appears and speaks with Kyoko. They also walk together, and Yashiro reveals that everyone's that that's worked with Ren has fallen for him. Kyoko questions being Ren's co-star. She decided that she'll never let anyone sway her heart again. Yashiro and Kyoko have lunch together. A coworker approaches them and asks Yashiro for his camcorder to show Miss Momose her performance. Kyoko reasons that there was nothing special about her heart pounding back then when Ren was the king of the night. She concludes that she's still safe and not in love. So, in a limousine, President Lori reveals that Ogata intends to leave everything in from his scene with Miss Momose. He also tells Ren that he showed his old self, that he sealed away when he came here. Kyoko sees the limo and figures that Ren and President Lori are inside. She wants to tell Ren where everyone is having lunch, but is hesitant to approach them. So President Lori sees Kyoko walking around in a pretty funny manner. It's like in a figure eight in a very worried way. Lori informs Ren of what's going on, and Lori realizes that Ren is in love with Kyoko, and Kyoko then walks away. But Ren gets out of the limousine to find Kyoko. He finds her, and she hands him the stone, the corn stone, or what? I don't know if there's a name for it. Kyoko reveals that she was watching them in the limo. She tells Ren that it looked like he was having a hard time in the limo. Kyoko tells him in absolute seriousness that Korn is a prince from fairyland. Ren cannot believe that. Kyoko still believes that, considering that Ren is indeed Korn. She tells him that Korn hadn't grown wings yet. She says that every time that Korn tried to fly high, um, he got caught in his father's fingers. She believes that Korn grew up and is flying freely. Ren tries to give the stone back to Kyoko, but she tells him that he can keep it for a while. Ren then kisses the stone and gives it back to Kyoko. They have lunch with Yashiro, and at the end of the volume, the cast of Dark Moon is seen, and director Ogata tells them to do their best. So, some thoughts on the volume. Ren has found his Kotsky. It's pretty cool. He's shown a full range of emotion. He seems to be drawing upon his apparent love for Kyoko and using that for his Kotsky as some really complicated feelings. It parallel the Dark Moon. Dark Moon parallels with his own life, and that Ren is older and he's in love with Kyoko. Kotsky's older, he's in love with Mitsuki, and then there are other factors that make it where they try to deny their feelings, Ren and Kotsky, to the one that they really love, but it's getting harder and harder. Um, with that said, I don't know what other issue you have going on with Dark Moon, and where they can really take Dark Moon at this point. You know, some of the big things were like Kyoko being Mio and finding her Mio, and she did. Now Ren found his Katsuki. Director Ogata seems cool too. Um, I don't know if there's gonna have much more conflicts in regards to Dark Moon. Got to know a little bit about Miss Momose. Um, Seems like a good actress. She got led by Ren though. I mean, he got her. You know, he totally got her. He made her react the way that he wanted to, and yeah, she's just not on the level. You know, it seems like there's a lot of stuff going on with Ren and President Lori. You know, they have some apparent history here, and there's something about Ren's past old self. Like, what's that? You know, we know that Ren is corn. So, are they talking about corn? Like, I mean, but he was really young. I mean, that's there's a time period from like when Ren is corn to you know who he is now. So, I'm assuming they're talking about that time. Lori seems to know a lot about Ren. Seems almost like a father figure type to Ren as well. Makes me very curious to see if more of that is going to be revealed, their relationship, and how they seem to know each other, and Lori seems to know Ren quite well. And then Ren's past old self, whatever that is, you know. Like I said, so far, all we know is that Ren was Corn. I don't know why his name is Corn. Now that I think about it, and Kyoko believes that Corn is a prince from Fairyland. Um, Kyoko, though, I mean, she loves Ren. She loves Ren Suruga. I don't know where this is going. Now, Ren loves her. She loves him. Why don't you two get together and get it over with? But this is shoujo manga. Can't happen, unfortunately. I guess things were building to this because Ren does show different sides of himself to Kyoko. He can be very mean to her, be very nice to her, can give the lying, gentlemanly smile to her. Um, and, it's really interesting. And moving forward, I can't help but feel that the scenes with Ren and Kyoko together are going to be a bit more impactful moving forward. You know, because obviously they have, you know, a thing for each other. Um, and then, going with more Ren and Kyoko, I mean, there's this thing with, Kyoko doesn't know that Ren is Corn, and that Corn's the one that gave Kyoko the stone. So it's like, it got this weird full circle thing going on, where it's like, hey, here's the stone that you gave me. Oh, you're gonna kiss it now and give it back to me, And Ren is Corn. So that's it's gonna be really interesting to see how all this ties in together. I mean, they have a history. Kyoko doesn't know about it. Um, Ren hasn't revealed anything about himself to Kyoko, as far as him being Corn or much about his past or anything like that. Um, So it's just something to look out for moving forward. And of course, Shofua is still out there, doing his thing. So before we get into the next volume, I'd like to plug my author's website at www.chrismondon.com, and you can read a new blog post every week on there. I just put one up about the fundamentals of writing and creativity, kind of tying it to like sports and whatnot as well. Um, so please check that out at my author's website www.chrismondon.com. Also, do you guys like action, adventure, fantasy, um, different worlds, characters that are just quirky but strong, and they'll go out there and have their go about their adventuring and fight battles against giant squid and hopping cacti and whatnot? Do you like anime? You know, then buy my book, The Mustard Prince in the Convent Kingdom, which is heavily influenced by anime, for just $4.99 via ebook on Amazon.com or on my author's website. Links to buy it will be provided on the page description. So let's get to volume 14. So the volume begins with Kyoko eating with director Ogata. I think it's during like a break or a lunch or something like that on the set. They talk about Miss Momose. Kyoko believes that she'll use the experience acting with Ren in that one particular scene to improve herself. It's revealed that Miss Momose was frustrated that Ren made her act properly and made her act right until the very end of the scene. Um, which sounds kind of like opposite, but it's just that whole idea that it's not just that that Ren made her act. It's that he made her act well too, to the very end. So he really got her. Ogata asks Kyoko if she likes Ren. She tells him to call it respect. Ogata tells Kyoko that in 3 days she goes to location and won't be able to see Mr. Suruga for a while after that. A random person goes up to them and addresses Ogata as Hirotaka Date, but Ogata plays it cool, you know? Ogata reveals that Ren told him when he had an attack that he's a different person from director Date. Ren is shown playing the piano well. He apparently learned to play it well quite quickly. Yashiro tells Ren that the girl that he likes came over to his place and he did nothing. Yashiro comments that Ren does not even deny it. Deny that, like, Kyoko is the girl that he likes. Yashiro then tells Ren that Kyoko won't become anybody else's girlfriend in quite some time. It's mentioned, though, that there's one pesky dark horse and that uttering his name is enough to upset her heart. I wonder who that is. And then it's shown that Sho Fuwa and Shoko are heading to TBM, and so is Kyoko. So in the flashback, Kyoko gets an offer to appear at Japonet Scope in a feature called Wanted Scope. Apparently, a lot of people want to know who's playing Mio and whatnot. Shofua was featured long ago on a segment called Music Scope. Kyoko passes by a sign in TBM that says Mr. Shofua in the hallway. Kyoko says that there's no way that Sho's song won't grab number one on the charts. A man knocks on the door and snorts in a condescending way when he meets Kyoko for the first time, surprised that she's the girl from the Fuwa clip. It's revealed that a band named Vegal beat Sho and are number one. The lead singer is the same person that Kyoko met earlier and was quite mean to. Actually, Kyoko notices that all of Vegal are just copying Sho. Vegal mocks and picks a fight with Kyoko, so the whole band is just mean to her now. Kyoko goes to Sho's dressing room very angry and tells him that she wants to talk to him. She mentions that Vegal got the number one spot and Sho just acts all aloof about it. She calls him a coward and tells him that uh, they'll take away his place for sure. Sho tells her to shut up and slaps her with a backhand and it cuts her face. Kyoko then attacks Sho with the most grudges that she's ever unleashed and they fill the room to capacity. Shoko gets some of it too. So the lead singer Vegal listens in at the hallway and grabs one of those grudges that got out of the room. He says that she may be plain, but she's more fun than he thought. His bandmate comments that maybe he's caught something that we can't see and is talking to it, and which was the grudge. So elsewhere, Yashiro tells Ren that he saw the Fuwa promo clip. He tells her that Kyoko looks very beautiful in it. Yashiro wouldn't be surprised if Sho starts looking at her as a potential love interest now. Kyoko puts a bandage over a cut on her cheek. Mr. Sawara, so they're back in like LME. Mr. Sawara reprimands Kyoko for her actions at TBM because of what happened with her and Sho. Uh, Ren stops by to see Mr. Sawara, and he has something for Ren that he asked for last night. Ren and Kyoko walk together. He inquires about the bandage on her cheek. She tells Ren that it's an unfortunate accident where she got hurt at work. She can't tell him that she went to see Sho and that he pretty much hit her. On the Dark Moon set, Yashiro, though, is really tense, and someone is there that everyone seems to be looking at. When Ren and Kyoko get to the set, Sho appears and apparently wants to see Kyoko. Ren smiles like a gentleman and just plays it cool. He tells Yashiro that he's going to get changed. Sho and Kyoko go somewhere private. It's like a hallway, and Sho gives Kyoko some ointment, but she refuses it. But Sho insists that she take it. Sho admits to her that everything she said was right on target. He admits that he can't let those clones take Sho Fuwa away from him. He admits that he shouldn't have raised his hand against a woman as well. Um, Kyoko then runs to where Ren and Yashiro are. She doesn't like really run away. Like it's kind of like the next scene. It's not like she ran away from show per se. So we're seeing Kyoko running to where Ren and Yashiro are. Yashiro asks why Fuwa came here, and Kyoko tells him that it was a meaningless errand. Kyoko and Ren sit together and wait for their scenes. She asks if he's angry, and Ren says that he's not. It's revealed that Ren is barely managing to keep his feelings under control. And it's also revealed that Ren walked in and listened to Sho and Kyoko's conversation. I don't know which part, it seems like the end. Later, Kyoko is packing to go on location to Karuizawa. She makes sure to take the stone. She does remember that like Ren did kiss the stone. Kyoko will be back in 5 days. Ren calls Kyoko and asks her questions. Kyoko realizes in a happy way that he's treating her like a child. So it's like, oh, did he bring this? Or make sure you don't do this, like stuff like that. He tells her that he'll be able to join her on the third day at the latest. Once they hang up, it's shown that Ren is watching the promo clip intensely, particularly the scene where um, Kyoko's the angel and she's like crying and like then she goes to choke like show. So like yeah, Ren's watching it, and we can assume that's what he got from Mr. Sawara. Kyoko, Ogata, and the crew of Dark Moon make it to Karuizawa. Kyoko walks with Miss Momose. She tells her that the Woodstick recording studio is nearby. Suddenly, Shofua appears pretty much in front of Kyoko. It's just like he's just kind of standing there. Um, as they're walking, all of a sudden they just kind of run into each other. It's said that those two must be bound by some sort of fate. Ren thinks about Kyoko and Fuwa. He hopes that he doesn't fall in love with her and twist her around his finger anymore. Kyoko returns Sho to Shoko. She accuses Sho of not doing his work. She then tells him that he's so soft because the Beagles, a nickname that she made up for Beagle, it's Beagle, um, got him. Sho laughs at hearing them be called Beagles. Kyoko walks around and sees a lead singer of Beagle through some glass kind of far away. He's just kind of sitting down with talking to the bandmates. She's kind of like far away. But Kyoko thinks that Beagle did something to Shotaro, or to Sho. The lead singer of Beagle, though, looks at Kyoko's direction. I mean, like, the glass is kind of blocking it, but I guess maybe sensing her? I don't know. Alone, Sho realizes that Kyoko can say things that perk him up, and he's happy that she hasn't that hasn't changed at all. In a flashback, Shoko tells Sho that there must be spies in their crew. And at the end of the volume, Sho declares that he'll never let those clones destroy him and dares them to keep up with him. He kind of says that to himself. So, some thoughts. Man, yeah, there's some, more stuff with Kyoko and Ren. It's getting to a point where it's kind of like other people are kind of realizing, like Ogata's kind of picking up on something here. It's like, hey, Kyoko, do you like Ren? And it's like, no, no, I just respect the guy. Um, very interesting relationship because, y- you know, um, they obviously like each other, but things are just getting in the way for them and themselves. So the thing with Kyoko and Ren is there's the outside influences, right? There's Shofua and whatnot. He's a senior actor and whatnot. And so there's all these outside influences. But then there's these internal conflicts that make it that they can't go out with each other either. So it's like, even if you get rid of the outside conflicts, it's still like, oh, Kyoko can't like get her heart swayed and she can't fall in love again, or else she's gonna be like, this lovesick puppy like she was with Shofua. And Ren has like apparently some dark stuff going on where it's like, oh, he can't have anything in his heart, or whatnot. So like I said, just keep an eye on these two. What's going on with these two? You know. Director Ogata, man, he seems to have gone full circle. It looks like he's totally over his whole thing with his dad, and can get to directing. Shofua makes a an appearance at the set of Dark Moon. Very interesting that he's involved now. He was kind of out of the picture, and now he's slowly but surely coming back into the picture. Um, he hit her. I mean, wow. That's kind of that was not uncalled for. He's like I said, dude. Uh, Skip Beat is just full of terrible people. What Show did was not was not cool. He shouldn't have hit anyone, especially Kyoko, and he did, and it's good that he owned up to it. You're starting to see sides of him, dude. He totally loves her. I mean, he totally loves her. I mean, it's painfully obvious, and it's such a weird, twisted relationship. Speaking of twisted, this lead singer Vigo, man, this guy, twisted guy. He can see the grudges. He can hold the grudges. He's kind of a weird dude. Vigo are a bunch of weird dudes. They obviously have a thing against Shofua. They copy his style. It seems like they copy his music. Um, so I don't, this looks like one of the bigger storylines here. He introduced this new character who quite possibly has a thing for Kyoko. I can't really tell if it's love or is some sort of like sick, twisted interest. Once again, I'm gonna keep saying it every time we get new characters. And Skip Beat is just full of terrible people, And the lead singer Vigo seems to be yet another terrible person who has gone, come into Kyoko's life and kind of made it miserable, to be honest with you. And also made Show's life miserable as well. It looks like that there's gonna have a battle between Show and Vigo. They haven't really faced off against each other. I kind of wonder if they're gonna talk to each other in person, especially Show and the lead singer Vigo. I kind of wonder if we're gonna get to know some of the other members of Vigo. But yeah, there's Kyoko's kind of in the middle of this whole thing with like Vigo, the lead singer of Vigo especially, and Show. So we're gonna kind of see where this goes. It's really interesting to see Show Fua in a more vulnerable position, whereas throughout the whole series, save for some parts here and there, especially when he's interacting with Kyoko, um, he's not really that vulnerable. He's always been in charge or in the lead in some way, shape, or form. In this case, he isn't number one. Vigo took that spot, and this Shofua character is obviously very important to him. So it kind of shows that Sho is a bit deeper of a character than he initially let on. Speaking of deep, man, Ren's feelings for Kyoko and watching that promo clip, man, it's just like this guy's got it bad for Kyoko. I mean, he's sitting there watching a promo clip. You kind of have to wonder. He's like by himself, and I'm kind of thinking like, what's he doing? Like, is he rewinding the scene and watching it over and over again in a very obsessed manner or something? I mean, yikes. Ren isn't exactly a Boy Scout, I mean, he's a he can be very intense, especially when it comes to Kyoko and stuff with involving Kyoko and Sho. So, um, yeah, I'm very curious to see where this goes. And it looks like Ren's going to be kind of out of the picture for a while. He said, what, in like 3 days he'll be able to see her. So it's like Kyoko doesn't have Ren around, but Sho is around now. And then this Vigo guy, the lead singer of Vigo, ain't exactly the best guy. When he's around her, it's freaking electricity. They don't really like each other. Or actually, Kyoko doesn't really like the lead singer Vigo, but who's gonna protect Kyoko from him? The grudges might not work. So Ren's not there. Sho is there though, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Maybe I don't know. So yeah, they are in Karuizawa. Um, I don't know if the Dark Moon set is gonna be. Dark Moon is there. They're gonna do some location stuff and some scenes and whatnot. I don't know if that's gonna be so prevalent. It seems like the story with Sho versus Vigal is the more prevalent story here in Karuizawa for now. Well, I assume that a lot's gonna happen here. Um, I think this whole Karuizawa story arc, or if you want to call it that, just getting started. You know, there's a spy in Show's crew apparently. um, we got to see what's up with that. Who is this person? Why is he working for Vigal and whatnot? What does this mean for Show? Apparently he's gonna fight back, but if there's a spy, how's that gonna work? You know. And then finally, I'm assuming that we'll see a lot more Sho and Kyoko around. He seems to be having a lot more feelings for her these days. She doesn't seem to care for him any more than she ever has. So you know, we'll see how these two interact because Ren's kind of out of the picture right now, but you now got the lead singer Vigal. Very interesting to see this Korizawa story arc and how it's gonna move forward. So that's all for today. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment to this channel. Thank you for listening to this manga review. Next time, I will have a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 15 and 16, a reading of my short story, The Witch's Origin, a movie review for Black Panther. Hopefully, I'll have that up next Sunday. And then a journal of my time in the Comic Expo, Long Beach Comic Expo. Hopefully, I'll have that up. If you're watching now on YouTube, it'll have pictures. Hopefully, I'll have that one up on Saturday. So, thank you, and until next time.